Hi guys, PJ here, this time looking at the PC release of Callisto Project. Now this particular one is the Denuvo-less, get my words right, version of the game. In other words, the developer has just removed Denuvo from it, and so we should possibly see a performance improvement over the last video I did when the game did have Denuvo. Now this video is running on an RTX2080 Super, which is an 8GB VRAM graphics card, and we're running on a Ryzen 7 2700, 8-core 16-thread CPU, and we've got 16GB of normal RAM. The game's installed on an NVMe drive, and we've got it recording to a separate SSD, and Windows is installed on another SSD, so we shouldn't have any slowdown with the recording going on here. First things first, when we first tested this when it was released with Denuvo, the game did have stuttering as you traversed the world. So as you're walking along, you'd get, your minor typical shader stutter. The game still does a shader compilation at the start, and the game does feature HDR, as you've just seen. Windows has this disabled on my system, so hence it's disabled on here. The only negative to this game is it's a negative if you're an NVIDIA user. It doesn't have DLSS without a mod being added. So there's a hint there. Obviously mods for this are available to convert it to DLSS, or they should be available by the time of this recording goes live. So I'm running this mostly on FSR2. Without it, you sort of, half the frame rate sort of thing. The default settings the game started with was medium across the board with ray tracing disabled. Now that only used about 3GB of VRAM, and the graphics card certainly wasn't running at full chat, so there was scope for improvement. Film grain was turned off. That's just a personal choice. I don't like the sort of speckly way that it does things, and generally FSR2 I was running in quality mode to see how good we could keep it. FSR2 has a sort of fuzzy edge to it a lot of times, so if you run it on performance mode it can break up quite badly. So quality mode mostly for this, and we run it with and without ray traced reflections, ray traced shadows, etc. Now reflections will have a hard hit, so will certain lighting advancements. So what I'm going to do is run the benchmarks for you on a couple of different settings. What we're noticing is when it first boots into the benchmarks or the game, it's as if it's still loading sections or still loading maybe text. So just for a few seconds you've got maybe a bit of slowdown, a bit of stutter until it sort of evens itself out, sorts itself out. We're running about 12GB of normal RAM at the moment. The CPU doesn't look like it's struggling. All the cores are in use quite nicely. And on these medium settings, we're only, like I say, 50, 60, 65% usage, 5.4GB of VRAM. So there's definitely scope to go above medium settings. However, as you will know, when you do this, when you do put ray tracing on, etc., you're going to be playing the game on this sort of spec system around the 50 FPS mark. It's certainly not going to lock to 60 with the ray tracing on. You could turn stuff down, dial it down a notch to try and get 60, but obviously if you're putting the ray tracing on, you value your visuals, so if you started to knock textures down to a muddy setting and shadows down to a blurry setting, it's sort of probably not worth it. Your biggest thing that's going to hit it is volumetrics quality. That has quite a hit. Shadow quality has quite a hit, and obviously ray tracing has a hit. Ray trace shadows you could probably leave off to save yourself some performance there. Keep the reflections on medium. There's not that much between high ray trace reflections medium and ray trace reflections high. Not a massive difference. You've still got the basic core reflection going on that looks nice, so not too bad. I am just going to say, if you've got a PS5 and you've got the version to give away with the PS Plus, probably not worth you buying this version. The PS5 version runs well, looks nice, so I'd possibly save you money. Obviously that doesn't count if you're still on a PS4 or you're a PC only gamer. Guys, I'm going to wrap up the commentary for now. I'm going to leave the end section to play out, showing all the effects and options and settings that the game has to offer, from sort of visibility options to sound options. Actually, while I'm mentioning sound, I will just mention, although this game has really nice sound effects, unfortunately, once again, it's stereo. It is not surround sound. I've tried it on 5.1, 7.1. It's a stereo game. The sound effects are good, the high quality, but nothing out of this world for surround sound, which, given the setting and all what's going on, you know, the sort of horror theme, it would have been nice to have a surround sound option. So stereo on that one. But anyway, like I say, all the options will play out so you can see them all. It does cover a lot of languages as well, so that's handy. Like I say, that's on the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope this was helpful. And for me, goodbye for now.